which we're now, to get a different view to Kevin, is Lord Timothy Kirkhope. Now, he's the former UK Immigration Minister and former leader of the Conservatives in the European Parliament. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, Lord Kirkhope. It is an incredibly contentious issue, this, isn't it? What's your opinion? I mean, you just heard Kevin Saunders speak there, who used to be the former chief immigration officer for the UK Border Force at Calais. Do you think do you think we should stop being so hysterically against the Rwanda scheme?
Well, I think hysteria doesn't or shouldn't really come into it as far as government is concerned and how we actually make our decisions. I was immigration minister, and in those days we still had quite a lot of people coming and claiming asylum, and as Kevin, I think, said, many of them arrived illegally on the backs of lorries, or they came then by air. We managed to put a stop to those sort of arrivals because we obviously wanted to have people coming in a legal way, and so we could judge whether they were eligible for asylum or not. The problem we have is that I think, and I don't wish to be too critical, because I think the illegal migration bill does have some good points in it. Certainly we want to deal with matters quicker, turn things round faster, applications. We certainly want to make sure that removals take place much faster of people who should not be in this country. When I was minister, I think something like 15 or 20% of all applications for asylum did not meet the 1951 criteria, the convention, the UN convention. And we tried to remove as many people as possible following their failure to be granted refugee status. At the moment, we're just not doing that. And it seems to me that we are now going to break the international law. We certainly are going to break international law if we do not consider applications for asylum that are made in our territory. And I think this is the big problem. So it's not a question of being emotional or hysterical or anything like that. It's just a question of, from my point of view, of not wanting our country to fall foul of international law at a time when actually we're trying to restore trust in this country, among other countries that think perhaps that we're too willing to break laws. So, I think there is an issue here. Asylum seekers are different to illegal migrants. A migrant is someone who wants to come here for economic purposes and who does not claim asylum, but breaks our rules. Now, they should be removed immediately back to where they came from. People who come here and apply for asylum cannot, in international law, be illegal. That is the problem. And this immigration bill immediately makes people illegal who internationally cannot be illegal. And I think that's my biggest problem. The second matter, and I'm sorry to go on, Emily, at this.
No, it's fine. Do go on.
But the key thing is this. We have available to us now a number of other ways in which we can stop those poor people getting on boats and going across the channel. One of them is to clamp down harder on the traffickers, the people who I think are illegal, I know are illegal, many of whom reside in the United Kingdom. We need to do more to round them up and prosecute them and stop them. And the second thing we need to do is we need to be more in touch, as we are now with the French, but more in touch with EU countries. And can I just end on this point in this?
No, do.
I was responsible partly for drafting what was called the Dublin Agreements. And they were the agreements when we were in the EU, which agreed an apportionment of responsibilities for those who came to Europe seeking asylum, because our numbers are nothing like the impact that has hit countries like Greece and Italy, the numbers going across the Mediterranean, arriving in those countries. We had to have some way in which we could, once they had got asylum in the European Union, make sure that we spread the responsibilities for their onward care. Now, those agreements were in place, and at that time, when we were members of the EU, we could return people to France. Now we can't because we're outside. What we now need to do, and I think the EU's having its own internal problems because Dublin has never been totally successful.
No.
What we need to do is to have a new form of Dublin agreed within EU countries, but also...
We be part of that agreement.
Yeah, but also allowing us to be associated with that agreement
Yeah.
in our new third country position. Now, if you do those things and you also speed up the processing of asylum and migration claims, and you remove people quickly who don't either meet the UN Convention for Refugees or do not meet our immigration rules, which I believe should be tough, then I think we're starting to crack the problem. And I think we're going to give more confidence to the British people if we behave like that. And those who are emotional and those who, as it were, you said hysterical, well, whatever they are, I think that would satisfy them on both sides of this discussion. And calmness, coolness, that is actually what government has to be involved in, not showboating.
Thank you so much. That was Lord Timothy Kirkhope, former UK Immigration Minister and former leader of the Conservatives in the European Parliament.